everyone, I am Nishu and I am back again with the second chapter, Biological Classification of class 11th. Children, the topics which we are going to cover in this chapter are your introduction, then 2 kingdom classification system, 5 kingdom classification system given by Whitaker, kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi. Children, in the kingdom Monera, we are going to discuss about Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Mycoplasma. And in the kingdom Protista, we will be discussing about chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds and protozoans. Similarly, in the kingdom fungi, we will be discussing about Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes and your Deuteromycetes. Children, these are the different subgroups which we are going to discuss in the kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom fungi. And one more topic which we are going to discuss in this chapter is your viruses, viroids and lichen. Children, these are the different topics which we are going to discuss in brief here in this chapter. Now what we have discussed before in the last chapter was that what is classification, what was the need of classification, how did the classification system came, how your groups and categories were formed. We have discussed a lot about all these different type of questions, all these different type of topics in the last chapter, that is your living world. So children, now we don't need to spend much time again on discussing all those topics. Now what we need is that to study in detail that how these groups or categories were formed, or what were the different categories that, or what are the different characteristic features which are making these groups. So children, what we need to study in this biological classification system is those groups, that how those groups were formed, or what are the characteristic features which are making those groups, those categories. So children, what actually in this chapter we have to study is the 3 main groups of the organisms, which has been divided into 3 categories, and these 3 categories are your kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom fungi. These 3 we are going to discuss in this chapter in detail. Little bit introductory part related to kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia has been mentioned in your NCERT book, but I will not be discussing that part here. That I will be discussing it in a separate topic as a separate chapter. Now children, this kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi, we have to study in detail. And what we need to discuss here, that what are the modes of reproduction in case of Monera, Protista, fungi. What is the mode of nutrition of Monera, Protista, fungi? What are the different habitats where they survive? These are the different topics which we are going to cover in this 3 categories which has been mentioned in the chapter Biological Classification. So children, now let us begin and come to the first question, that what is classification? We have discussed that classification is a system where we are discussing, we are categorizing different type of living organism surviving on this earth depending on the basis of their similar characters and dissimilar characters. And the classification and the same classification we are going to study over here, that what are the similarities and what are the dissimilarities on which your kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista and kingdom fungi has been differentiated, or we can say that they are compared among themselves. So children, it was not a very easy task to study this different categories of living organism. So from a long time, many peoples, they were studying on this. They were doing research on this. They were doing different type of, they were forming different type of study patterns, so that actual correct defining features we could get, and we could clearly differentiate among the different type of living organisms. I told you children that in these different type of kingdoms we are going to study, we are going to discuss about these organisms. So until and unless a huge study has been done, until and unless a deep research has been made, how it was possible to know that these different kingdoms are having such and such type of living organism among themselves? It means that kingdom Monera is divided into 3 more categories, that is Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Mycoplasma. So how it was possible? It was only possible because of the study of classification pattern. But children, this study, this research work was not for a short duration. It was not for a short time. It has taken a long time to come to a conclusion that there are different type of living organisms. These different organisms are having different groups and subgroups among themselves. These organisms are having different modes of nutrition, different modes of reproduction, different modes of pattern of habitats they are having, habits they are having. So all these was not easy. And how it came to, and how it became easy? There are many persons who have given their contribution to the study of biological classification, and there are many people to whom we are going to discuss them here in this chapter. Children, in the introduction part of this chapter, we will be discussing about your Aristotle, then your Theophrastus. We will be also discussing about Bentham and Bucher, and then the main Whitaker, and we will be also discussing about Carolus Linnaeus. So children, now let us begin with the Aristotle, the first philosopher who has told us that how this biological classification came into existence. So now children, let us now discuss about the contribution of Aristotle. Now let us see that what were the attempts that he made to make the study of classification system very simple for us. Now first let us know that who was Aristotle. Children, Aristotle is also called as father of biology, and he is also known as father of zoology. Aristotle in the science, he is also known as your father of biology or father of zoology. Now children, he was a Greek political philosopher. Aristotle was highly educationalist. He has given his contribution to almost all the different type of subjects, all the different type of streams, and his thoughts were very great. And from his thought, the thought of the pattern of biological classification also came into existence, and people started thinking in this direction also. So your Aristotle was a Greek political philosopher, and he is also known as father of biology, or he is also known as father of zoology. Now children, he made the classification system very simple, based on organisms which he observed, that is your plants and animals. I told you, in the entire world, in the entire planet, in the beginning, when your classification system was not there, we used to, or the people of that time used to conclude that there are only 2 type of living organisms, because they used to see that only. So same was with the Aristotle also. Aristotle also, he observed only 2 type of living organisms on the planet, and he concluded that only 2 type of living organisms are there. That first is your plants, or they are animals. Either all the organisms were plants, or they were, and the leftover all were your animals. So this was observed and it was thought given by the Aristotle. Now children, on the basis of his observation, Aristotle categorized the living organisms into plant and animals. And what did he observe? On that basis, he divided the plants and the animals further into three categories. On which basis? On the basis of their habitat, that where they are surviving, or what are their on the basis of size or their growing habits. So these were the two observations. On these two observations, Aristotle tried to divide all the living organisms. So children, your Aristotle divided the animals into three categories on the basis of their habitat. Habitat means their dwelling place, where they are surviving. So on the basis of their dwelling place, your animals Aristotle divided into three categories, and these three categories were terrestrial animals, aquatic animals and your aerial animals. You have studied in your childhood classes that terrestrial animals are those animals who survive on land. Your aquatic animals are those animals who are surviving in the water, and aerial animals are those who are surviving in the air. So, depending on the dwelling place, depending on their habitat, Aristotle divided the living organisms, mainly animals, into three categories, and these three categories were terrestrial animals, aquatic animals and your aerial animals. Now what was left? Plants were left. So children, Aristotle worked on that also, and he divided the plants again into three categories based on size and their growing habits. Just now I discussed this, that on the basis of the size of the plant and how the plants are growing, what is the habit, what are the pattern, that how the plants are growing in sizes. So depending on these 2 points, Aristotle divided the plants into three categories, and these three categories were herbs, shrubs and trees, and again you are very much familiar with these three names. So your herbs, shrubs and trees, these were the three categories which was made by Aristotle. Aristotle, either he saw that plants were very small, or either the plants were of medium sized or they were very tall. So on the basis of he categorized the plants into three types: herbs, shrubs and trees. He further also divided the organisms into two more types. Now let us see what is that. Now let us, children, see that how your Aristotle tried to divide the living organisms further into two categories on the basis of presence or absence of blood. Now children, he further divided organisms into two groups. On which basis? On the basis of presence of blood or of absence of blood. Now children, on this basis, he named or he grouped the organism into two types, and he gave the names Enyma or Anyma. E and A, only this difference is there. You always keep this in your mind, that Enyma and Anyma. Enyma were those organisms in which they were having blood. It means the blood was present in the body of the organisms. So on the basis of presence of blood, the organisms were called as Enyma. Now children, there were many such animals also where your body was not having blood. Inside the body of the organisms, blood was not present. So on that basis, your organisms were named as Anyma. But children, again I'll repeat it, that Aristotle was the person, he was the philosopher, he was your zoologist, biologist, educationalist, so a gift thinker who has given his all opinions. he has given his all suggestions, all theories on the basis of observations. Whatever he observed in the living world, he described his theories on that particular basis. So he observed that there on the planet only two different type of living organisms were surviving. Either they were plants or they were animals. So he categorized in this two type of animals and plants only. He saw that among plants, some were very small, some were average sized, some were very tall. So on that basis he categorized into herbs, shrubs and trees. In animals he saw that either the animals were surviving on land, inside water or in air. So on that basis he categorized it into your terrestrial, aquatic and your aerial. Further he observed that there are many type of organisms where the bodies are not having blood. Inside the body of an organism blood is not present. Earthworm and all are there where they do not have blood. So what will happen? So on that basis he categorized the organisms again into two types, that was your Eneima and Erneima. But children, there was a lot of controversy on these theories because these theories were not fully, it was not completely explaining, or it was not completely giving the differentiation among different type of living organisms present on the earth. Now children, there are many type of organisms who are surviving in the water also and on the land also. So where those animals will be kept? In which group? Either they were terrestrial or they were aquatic. There are many type of organisms who were making their food by photosynthetic process, as well as they were preparing it, they were taking it from the others also. They were having a heterotrophic mode also. So where to keep those animals? Where to keep those plants? So children, there were lots and lots of controversies regarding these theories, regarding his attempts, regarding his conclusions that he made on the basis of observations. So these theories were criticized. They were criticized, and whenever a criticism is there, again a next hope comes. Again new theories will be published, will be in front of us, which will be explaining the answers to all these questions in more simple ways. So children, next to Aristotle, I'll be discussing about Theophrastus, and then I'll be moving to the two kingdom classification system. Now let us know, children, about Theophrastus, that who was he? Children, Theophrastus, he is also known as father of botany. I told you Aristotle was known as father of zoology, and Theophrastus is known as father of botany, or he is also known as father of ancient plant taxonomy. So Theophrastus is father of botany or ancient plant taxonomy. Similar to Aristotle, Theophrastus was also a Greek political philosopher. Now children, Theophrastus has written 3 books on plants. And what are the 3 books? The books are Historia Plantarum, Causes of Plants, and Inquiry into Plants. These are the 3 books which are written by Theophrastus. And children, Historia Plantarum is considered as the first book of botany, and it was written by Theophrastus. Again, I repeat the names of the 3 books: Historia Plantarum, Causes of Plants, and Inquiry into Plants. Now children, Theophrastus divided the plants into 4 groups. Aristotle divided into 3. They were herbs, shrubs and trees. But Theophrastus divided into 4 groups. And what were the groups? Herbs, shrubs, undershrubs and trees. He added undershrubs. Now children, these were the 4 types of plants which was divided by Theophrastus herbs, shrubs, undershrubs, and then your trees. Now children, he also proposed the term annual, biennial and perennial. What do you mean by these three terms? These three terms are based on the fruiting and flowering habit of the plant. Children, if the plant flowers or give fruits once in a year, then the term annual will be used for it. It is an annual plant. Annual plant means either it is flowering or the fruits are being formed in the plant once in a year. Children, if it is biennial, that means twice a year. In a particular year of one complete year, the plants are giving 2 times of fruits and flowers. So it is biennial, twice in a year if the plants are flowering or fruiting. Then children, the third one is perennial. Perennial means throughout the year. Throughout the year, the plant is having the capacity to flower and to produce fruits. So children, he also proposed, Theophrastus also proposed the 3 terms, that is your annual plants, biennial plants and perennial plants. Now children, let us move to the 2 kingdom classification system which was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Children, in the beginning, I will be discussing little bit about the work done by Carolus Linnaeus. Then I will be telling you all that what does 2 kingdom classification system means.